have allocated. But what we want to do is we want to try and cover at least the most essential discussions. We may not be able to look at everything, but we want to try and cover what's relevant for us. But that does not mean that we do not pay attention to other things, all right? You're getting it. So we're just trying to get focused on one particular issue that touch on Kenya and probably Africa also, because Kenya belongs to the African continent. And when you go into international conventions, you have to look at it and see how conservation in Africa is going to work. So I'm going to run you through an overview of the process that we are in. And then after that, we schedule some presentation. Rosie, who should be here, will she come in? Oh, yeah.
I'm Rosie.
Yes.
There are some bird species, 4 bird species, I think, and then there's the 2 elephant proposals. There's one from some of the African Elephant Coalition countries for an Appendix 1 listing proposal for elephants, but Zimbabwe has put in a proposal to trade in ivory for the 4 southern African countries. Oppress the trade. There's also a hippo proposal to list the hippo on Appendix 1. It's currently on Appendix. Hello? Okay. It's currently on Appendix 2. And there are some rhino proposals. So there are 2 downlisting proposals. 2 proposals. One is for downlisting, and one is to remove the annotation. And then there are 2 rhino proposals. One is from Botswana and Namibia to downlist their white rhino population so they can trade in live animals and hunting trophies. They can actually trade in hunting trophies right now, but anyway. And the other one is from Eswatini, that used to be Swaziland. And this is to remove the conditions on their listing so that they can trade in rhino horn. So that's kind of an all-out proposal. So in terms, all of these, actually a very good summary to look through is the SSN Digest, and we can send that around to everybody. It's what I've got in front of me. It tells you all the ones which are for listing on Appendix 2, uplisting, downlisting, new listing, and essentially what that means for those who haven't been to Cites before is a listing on Appendix 2 is a listing to control trade. So then the countries have to issue export permits and they have to report on their trade, and so it's for species that may be threatened by trade. Appendix 1 is basically, it's a ban on trade for commercial purposes. So that's a much stricter, higher listing. So for example, most elephant populations are in Appendix 1, a lot of populations, it gets complicated in CITES now because some species are split listed, like the African elephants, also rhinos. That causes a lot of problems with implementation. But so that's a quick look at the proposals. I will highlight a couple that are going to be controversial. And to make one point. This is generally known as the Conference of the Parties for Reptiles, because there's a huge trade in reptiles worldwide, and very few relatively are listed to the size of the trade. So we have 19 reptile proposals. A lot of them are turtles, not all. Some of them are snakes. Timber rattlesnake, that's an American one. And then there are 2 amphibian proposals, and one is one that has the backing of all the Latin American countries and the USA, and it's for the whole group. It's for the whole genus, of glass frogs, and these are highly threatened. The trade has skyrocketed. One of the main importers, apart from the US, is the EU, and the EU is opposing this proposal, as they did at the last conference, which is why it failed at the last conference. So the EU has got big vested interest in this trade, and they're also causing problems with some of the other reptile proposals as well. So the US is not happy with the EU at the moment, and so hippo is going to be controversial because like IUCN, I haven't looked at the traffic analysis, but Secretariat, they're all saying that it doesn't qualify for Appendix 1. So hippo is going to be a fight. Glass frogs is going to be difficult. Rhinos are going to be a fight. The Eswatini one doesn't stand a chance. But the one by Botswana and Namibia, downlisting for live animals and hunting trophies, does stand a chance. That's going to be difficult. And every time they open up a bit more of the rhino horn trade, that does have implications for Kenya, because it's one of the main range states. So I think that's highlighted some of the more, and marine, I hand over to Sam, because sea cucumbers is landmark, isn't it? To actually list sea cucumbers on Appendix 2, yeah? And Sharks and rays.